सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। Let's chant from 14. सर्वमेतद्धृतं मन्ये
सर्वमेतद्धृतं मन्ये
यन्मां वदसि केशव।
यन्मां वदसि केशव।
न हि ते भगवन् व्यक्तिम्
न हि ते भगवन् व्यक्तिम्
विदुर्देवान दानवाः।
विदुर्देवान दानवाः।
स्वयमेवात्मनात्मानम्
स्वयम् एवात्मनात्मानं
वेत्थ पुरुषोत्तम।
वेत्तत्वं पुरुषोत्तम।
भूतभावन भूतेश
भूतभावन भूतेशः।
देवदेव जगत्पते।
देवदेव जगत्पते।
वक्तुमर्हस्य शेषेण
वक्तुम् अर्हस्य शेषेण
दिव्या ह्यात्मविभूतयः।
दिव्या ह्यात्मविभूतयः।
याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकान्
याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकान्
इमांस्त्वं व्याप्य तिष्ठसि।
इमां स्त्वां व्याप्य तिष्ठति।
कथं विद्यामहं योगिन्
कथं विद्यामहं योगिन्
त्वां सदा परिचिन्तयन्।
त्वां सदा परिचिन्तयन्।
केषु केषु च भावेषु
केषु केषु च भावेषु
चिन्त्योऽसि भगवन्मया।
चिन्त्योऽसि भगवन्मया।
विस्तरेणात्मना योगम्
विस्तरेणात्मनो योगम्
विभूतिं च जनार्दन।
विभूतिं च जनार्दन।
भूयः कथय तृप्तिर्हि
भूयः कथय तृप्तिर्हि
शृण्वतो नास्ति मे मृतम्।
शृण्वतो नास्ति मे मृतम्।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
हन्त ते कथयिष्यामि
हन्त ते कथयिष्यामि
दिव्या ह्यात्मविभूतयः
दिव्या ह्यात्मविभूतयः
प्राधान्यतः कुरु श्रेष्ठ
प्राधान्यतः कुरु श्रेष्ठ
आस्त्यन्तो विस्तरस्य मे
नास्त्यन्तो विस्तरस्य मे।
So Arjuna has concluded 7 full shlokas that Arjuna spoke, and he has concluded his request. He started with a praise of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and then he wants Krishna to tell Kathaya, Bhuyaha Kathaya. Tell me once again. Vistarena Atmano Yogam Vibhutim Cha. Tell me all your glories, which I can use to further meditate on so that I can understand my true nature. In order to understand my true nature, I have to first appreciate the glories of Ishvara, correct? So only if I appreciate the things that can be easily appreciated, then only I can come to myself. Very interesting journey. So in 16, he says, Divyāhyātma vibhūtayaha. Arjuna says, and here also Sri Krishna responds by saying, Divyāhyātma vibhūtayaha. Very interesting. So Krishna begins to respond. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So the question is Krishna going to accept Arjuna's request or not? Arjuna is saying, Bhuyaha Kathaya. Kathaya, please tell me. Tell me about what? Tell me about yourself. See, in any conversation, if you tell somebody, oh, really? You are from Hyderabad? Yeah, what did you do? Where did you study? Well, suppose by mistake you ask that question. You know what will happen? Then that's it. The whole thing comes out. Oh, you want to know about my childhood? You want to know? Yeah, yeah, come, sit down. I'll tell you everything about myself. So it starts. Nobody, everybody loves to talk about themselves. Yeah, yeah, I was also there. Yeah. And then this school and that school, we did that and this. Oh, yeah. So it goes on and on. With time, passing of time, we lose track of time also. So therefore, therefore, when Krishna is told, please talk about yourself, Krishna is not going to get upset. He will say, yeah, sure, I am the best person to talk about myself. And so I will definitely do that. And in this Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna is talking about himself, really speaking, when he says, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. In third chapter, he said that. Okay. A partha, trishu lokeshu. It means in all worlds. Okay. Chaturdasha lokeshu. Name parthasti kartavyam. There is nothing for me to do. This is amazing. God has nothing to do. It's a bit scary thought, you know, especially if we are conditioned to thinking that Bhagavan is Srishtikarta, Sthitikarta and Layakarta. Therefore, a lot of activity is going on. It all Bhagavan is doing it through me, through people, through animals. All these actions are getting done. And then Bhagavan says, Name Partha Asti Kartavyam. So, thanks to Vedanta, Name Parthasti Kartavyam, when Krishna is saying, he is talking about Atma, Brahma, and there is nothing to be done. Atma is Akarta, Brahma is Akarta, nothing to be done. And so he's talking about himself, but then he's talking about whom? About us he's talking. He's talking, it is our story. Krishna's story in Bhagavad Gita is our story. Correct? Therefore, we also are not going to be tired listening to it. It is not, there is only a limit to which you can listen to somebody else's story. Somebody else's story. Now, I'm actually always surprised how people read autobiographies. Autobiography is a story of somebody else. Okay. Okay, inspiring stories we can always read. But to what extent all this thing is true and all, we get doubts. Every word cannot be true. I don't think so. I don't think so. How can you express feelings and all that in words? It's not possible. So, you have to, can take the best from autobiographies and yeah, that's fine. But here, autobiography of Krishna is our autobiography. Therefore, we are not going to get tired of this. And so, Vedanta, that's the beauty of Vedanta. Anything other than Advaita Vedanta is different. It's about Bhagavan's glories, his Leela, Krishna's Leela. And all the Puranas talks about Leela starting from Dhruva onwards. Beautiful, inspiring stories. We are not going to get tired of that either. Okay? It's very obvious we are not getting tired. And every TV show, there's something or the other going on. But they are stories of Bhagavan, not about me. Not about me. It's about me means I must go. I must seek his blessings so that I can go to heaven and be with God. So that's the idea given there. But Advaita Vedanta says that Ishvara Swarupa is equal to Jiva Swarupa. Therefore, it's of course very good to hear. And of course, Bhagavan is going to say what? Hanta, Hantate Kathayishyami. Hanta is a particle in English, in Sanskrit. It's a particle. It can mean with several things depending on the context. It's a floater. It's like a joker. In this game of rummy, you have something called a joker. How many of you play rummy? Have played rummy? Yeah, many of you have played. So there's something called joker. Joker means you can use it in place of any other card that you don't have. And so hunter is something like that. And so it can mean, oh, alas, oh, I'm shocked. Alas, expression of pity, all that is there. But here it means, okay, sure, very well, all right, sir. That kind of, when we say all right, means what? Okay, fine, everything. I agree with you, and that's good. That is the kind of expression here. Hanta, hanta. And so what hanta? What te kathayishyami? I will tell you, Kateshyami, Ritlakara, future tense. I will tell you. I will tell you, te, to you. What will I tell you? Atma Vibhutayaha. Atma Vibhutayaha. I will certainly enumerate, list one by one, I'll tell you. And, but don't forget, don't forget the Vibhutis that are there in front of our eyes also. Even though I'm going to tell you certain things, you should have already thought through things that you have taken for granted but now should not take for granted. Okay. There is something called locked jaw. Locked jaw. Locked jaw means the jaw cannot move. And unless you see a person whose jaw is not able to move, you won't appreciate the fact that our jaws are, lower jaw is moving up and down just fine. Just fine. There is no guarantee that it should move up and down like that. It is supposed to move in a normal case. And so eating food without knowing it, just the mouth just keeps on. And so therefore, hey Arjuna, there are so many opportunities. And unless you see, I never knew what a stroke was. They say stroke and then heart attack. I never knew how stroke is different from heart attack and all that. All these words were used without me knowing. Heart attack, the word heart is there. Therefore, I knew it had to do with the heart. And stroke, Never knew until my mother got a stroke. Until she lost the use of her couple of limbs. Okay, then I knew, oh my God, stroke. And then you realize, you look at your own body and say, I have to, I have to be thankful that all these are working today. And how can I use it well? Okay, so hey Arjuna, I hope you've already thought through all these things. I hope. Okay, and even just the eyelids, winking of eyelids. Okay, these days with all this computer, people looking at the phone and computer, the eyes are getting dry, and everybody is squeezing some drops into their eyes and tears, artificial tears and all. And so therefore, even the Upanishads talks about this. By the way, Kshema iti vachi, Taittiriya Upanishad, if you all know, Kshema, Bhriguvalli, Kshema iti vachi, Yoga Kshema iti prana, pranayoho, Karmeti hastayoho, Gatiriti pranayoho, Vimuktiriti payo, iti manushi samajna. Kshema iti vachi, vachi, look, speech, speech. We take for granted speech, and we are talking all day. But just the fact that you're able to open your mouth and speak, that itself is a wonder. So focus on speech. Upanishad says, Vachi, in the speech, visualize Kshema. Kshema iti Vachi. Visualize that sustenance, that wonder. Okay, what is Kshema? And then Yoga Kshema iti Prana Pana Yoho. Absolutely brilliant. Yoga Kshema. So in this prana and apana, in this breath and I've taken for granted this breath, and then stop for a second, for a minute, and then just focus on the breath. Yeah, inhalation, exhalation is happening. Oh, okay, correct. Now I understand they used to say inhalation, exhalation. Yeah, it's actually happening. Yeah. Then what should I do? Yoga kshema iti prana pana yoho. Yoga and kshema. We said long ago that our life can be defined by two words, yoga and kshema. That's it. That is equal to human life. And what is yoga? Huh? What is yoga? Huh?
To
Getting
obtain something that you don't have,
Huh?
to
Yeah,
get something that you don't have, like apraptasya prapti.
correct. Apraptasya praptihi yoga. Now, yoga is not sitting at a yoga, not that kind of yoga. Here, yoga means apraptasya praptihi. Then kshema is
sustaining that point.
so praptasya rakshanam. Praptasya rakshanam. Protecting what you have. This is what we do all day long, all life long. And so, therefore, being so important, yoga kshama being so important, and this prana and apana being so important, focus that important thing on this important. Okay? And appreciate. Take that. Don't take it for granted. Just focus on that. Yoga kshema iti prana panayoho. Karmeti hastayoho. Hastayoho, true, dvivachanam. In these two hands, karma, action, activity is not possible without hands. So focus on that. And then what? Karmeti hastayoho gatiriti payo. Gatiriti, uh, gatiriti padayoho. So padayoho gati. So movement is not possible without legs. Okay. So visualize the legs and visualize movement. All the things you have done, moved from place to place to place, not possible without the legs. And so that entire movement, and if you then extend it to the movement of everything in this world, including the movement of planets and galaxies, and focus on the legs. Keep meditating on that for half an hour, 1 hour. What is the use of all this? Well, then whenever something moves, you will think of your legs. And whenever you think of your legs, you will understand Bhagavan's glory. Because I know how important the legs are for me. Gatiriti padayo, vimuktiriti payo. Payo. Look at this Upanishad. This organ of secretion, or excretion, anus. Okay, so he says meditate on that. Why you should meditate on that? Well, that means you don't know what happens if that part does not work properly. That is when we understand. That is when we understand. Overworking or underworking, both are a big problem. And the problem, it doesn't go away just like that also. It takes a while. Treatment of that takes a while. So therefore, vimukti riti payo. So focus on that. And then if it's working well, let it work well. And working well, he's calling vimuktihi. He's using the word muktihi. Long ago I read a statement. Your idea of time depends on which side of the bathroom door you're standing on or standing. Inside the bathroom or outside the bathroom. Look at this brilliant statement somebody made. I don't know. Your idea of time depends on which side of the door you're standing. And that shows how important it is, how we can't take anything for granted. And so Krishna is indirectly saying, yeah, I'm going to Divya Atma Vibhutaya. I'm going to say all the great things happening in so many lokas. But do you understand everything that's happening in this loka in front of you and around you? Are you okay? What about your body? Have you done all these things? Nothing taken for granted? Hmm. So that is what is indicating. In Kena Upanishad, there is a meditation on winking. Winking. So our Upanishad is complete. And so tasya isha adeshaha, etc. There is a particular nidhyasana. So mindfulness, all our this vipassana people are very good at it. People who go to vipassana, they spend 10 days a year or more. They're all over the world. Mindfulness, Buddhist meditation, mindfulness. It's all mindful. We can learn a lot from them. So much to learn. Mindfulness. And so, be mindful means people who are mindful will automatically appreciate everything that's happening in this world, including the tree that's flowering and giving fruit, everything they will appreciate because the mind is tuned to that. Observing, sitting and observing for hours, days, days together without the telephone, without doing WhatsApp. Even to think like that, we get a little jittery. These people sit like that. So we should all practice that. It's a very good practice, and it is so important that for these days with so many distractions, it's a must actually. So, uh, therefore, so many things are there. Laukikaha, here Arjuna. I hope you have done all these things, but I leave that to you. You don't need me for that. So therefore, I will focus on what Divya Hyatma Vibhutayaha. Divya, Divyaha, things that are divine, even more divine, things that you may not be aware of. Okay, and because that also is too many, and in fact, that is too many. That's what he's saying here. Me vistarasya me my detailed vistarasya, the details of my glory, vibhutinam vistarasya nasti antaha. Nasti antaha. Antaha nasti. There is no end. There is no end to the descriptions of my glories. My vibhuti. There is no end. And so what should I do? Therefore, I am going to, because 14 lokas are there. Okay, you know only one loka, but I know many more lokas than this. So I can keep on talking. And so there's going to be no end to this. Therefore, pradhanyataha. Pradhanyataha. Primarily, I'll give you a sample. Sampling. I'll give you a sample. You go to some of these big uh, eateries and all, sweets and all they sell. There's only sweets, and kara and sweets. But they'll give you some samples. They won't charge you for it. They'll just pick something and give it to you. So like that. So that you can choose and then you can buy. Their hope is that If they spend 50 rupees on you, you'll spend 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. That's the idea. And so, therefore, pradhanyataha, I will be selective here. I'll be selective. Kurusreshta, hey Kurusreshta. He uses the word Kurusreshta. Very interesting use of word. Kurusreshta means what? Later on, bit later, he's going to say, Pandavanam Dhananjaya. Some of you may recall. Pandavanam Dhananjaya will come later. Okay. So among the Pandavas, I am Arjuna, he's going to say. Okay. And so Arjuna can feel good. And so there is almost like he's going to indicate, he's going to say that it looks like Kuru Sreshta, Kauravana Sreshtaha, Kuru. Somebody said, have a betel leaf and tulsi leaf every morning. So today onwards, I started it. And this betel leaf, what happens if you eat? The taste, it has this, and that also when talking, it reminds you that I'm still there. Okay, even though it's been an hour since I swallowed it. And so, anyway, Kuru Sreshta, Kuru Vamsha, Kurodbhava Sreshta. So you are the greatest among the Kuru lineage, dynasty. And so, uh, and, and children used to be told, if you get afraid, what happened? Thunder, thunder comes, lightning, and then the children will just run away. And then if you're afraid, think of Arjuna. Think of Arjuna. Then all the fear will go away. Immediately close the eyes. And then, so that's you. You are that person. Hey Arjuna. And so therefore he is giving that introduction. I will tell you things. Divya Atma Vibhutaya. Atma Vibhutaya. Atma is a reflexive pronoun. Atma here is not Sachidananda Atma. Atma, okay, me. Referring to Sachidananda Atma also, but my Vibhuti. Mama Vibhutayaha, he's going to say. So let us translate this mantra. Hantate kathayishyami divyahyaatma vibhutayaha pradhanyatah kuru sreshta nastyanto vistarasya me. Shri Bhagavan said, Shri Bhagavan said, which is how we translate this as well now. Well now. Okay. All right now. Sure, you can use your words. Well now. O best among the Kurus. O Kurusreshta. Best among the Kurus. I will tell you my divine glories. I will tell you my divine glories in keeping with their importance. In keeping with their importance. Because there is no end. Because there is no end to a detailed description of my glories. To a detailed description of my glories.
Jaykumarji, I have a question. What does Vistarasya mean? I didn't write the meaning down.
Detailed. So detailed. Vistara means detail.
Detail. Okay.
Detail. So detailed description. Vistarasya. Of end of the detailed description, right? That Vistarasya of. So let me repeat this. Sri Bhagavan said, well now, O best of the Kurus, I will tell you my divine glories in keeping with their importance, semicolon, because there is no end to a detailed description of my glories. Next, mantra number 20. Ahamatma gudakesh
अहमात्मा गुडाकेश
सर्वभूताशयस्थितः
सर्वभूताशयस्थितः
अहमादिश्च मध्यं च
अहमादिश्च मध्यं च
भूतानामन्त एव च
भूतानामन्त एव च
अहमात्मा गुडाकेश
अहमात्मा गुडाकेश
सर्वभूताशयस्थितः
सर्वभूताशयस्थितः
अहमादिश्च मध्यं च
अहमादिश्च मध्यं च
भूतानामन्त एव च.
भूतानामन्त एव च.
So Sri Krishna has started. He started listing. Nirgunam Brahma, Sagunam Brahma. These are the only two things available. Satyam, Mithya. These are the only two things available in this world. So how is he going to start? He's going to cover both. And so he's going to start with Nirgunam Brahma, Satyam, Sat, Chit, Ananda. He's going to start with that. Okay? And because that Chaitanyam is fundamental. You can cover either way, but Krishna chooses to do it this way. Living being, if you say, what is the difference between living being and non-living? The manifestation, the extra manifestation of Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam is there everywhere, not just in living being. But in living being, it is manifest. And that consciousness is so manifest that the being begins to do stuff, act, and as opposed to just being like a pillar. And so, that being so fundamental, so Krishna is going to start with that Chit Hamatma, he's going to say that. And so everywhere in our Shastram, that we know, we've been studying that. And then Upanishad also, Shrotram Manaso Mano Yet, Vachoha Vacham Sa Pranasya Prana. Shrotrasya Shrotram means hearing is Shrotram. what is the what is it that makes the ears hear? If you ask, that is Shrotrasya Shrotram. That Atma is Shrotrasya Shrotram. Manaso Manaha. Vachoha Vacham. Sa Pranasya Pranaha. Chakshushas Chakshuhu. Atumuchya Dhiraha. Pretyasman Loka Amrita Bhavanti. Those who understand that Amritaha Bhavanti, they become Amritaha. Like that Kenopanishad says. And so that Shrotrasya Shrotram, that Chit he's going to talk about. The entire world is a manifestation of Bhagavan through Maya. Maya. And so Maya Shakti, we know that. And so Maya is the creator of this world. Maya has been delegated the responsibility of creating this world. And so, but then even in Lalita Sahasranamam, Maya Devi is their creator, but she is also presented as Mata of Nirguna Brahma Mata, as a mother. So all these Dikshita, uh, what is it? Dikshita,
Daitya Shamani.
Daitya Shamani, Sarva Lokavashankari, Sarvarthadatri Savitri,
Satchidananda.
Satchidananda Rupini. Like that, she's going to say that. He's talking about Lord, her glories. But then here, Sachida Ananda Rupini, hey, I am the Swarupa. I am also the Swarupa. Don't forget, even though there is so much activity that I am the one who is causing that, but I am also Sachida. That Sachidananda Atma is me. She says that. Therefore, that's the beginning. That's the beginning of all. And that's also the first thing we keep ignoring in our life. We keep on ignoring until the time comes when we have to say, oh, I have to pay attention to that. Okay. So therefore, he's going to start with this Chaitanya Vibhutihi and so that life, I am life. Chaitanya, I am life. I am the life in all living beings. Okay. And so that is how you get into this ahimsa paramo dharma. Because that life is such a glory that there should be a living being. There's no rule the creation should be in a particular way and all that. Nothing. There's no rule that says living beings must be there. But the fact that living beings are there and are interacting with each other constantly, and that's a glory. And therefore, ahimsa paramo dharma. Hey, when a life itself is a glory, don't take that life away. No life wants to. You can ask any being in this world, do you want to die? No. No. Every bacteria runs away from threat. Every bacteria, every microorganism protects itself. And they will see, even in the microscope, you can see all that. You can see how they all interact with each other. Therefore, where is the question? And so that life is being celebrated by by highlighting this Sachidananda Atma. And so that is Chit. And then Sat. Sat also. Even though he's not going to talk a lot about this, but we have to remind ourselves. Chit and then Sat. Sat means what? Existence. Existence. When I see this world, when I wake up, I take existence for granted because so many things are there that are familiar to me that exist. It existed yesterday and it is existing today also. Of course, my body also exists. That is the first existence. Okay, that is taken for granted. I exist and all these things exist and I can lead another day's life. Okay, all this is there. That existence is so important. So important. We saw this. Pot exists. Pot is. The minute you say pot is heavy, pot is light, pot is brown, pot is empty. If you say pot is. You've taken the is for granted. Pot must be existing in order to for me to talk about pot. I must be existing in order for me to talk. Then pot also must be existing in order for me to talk about pot. So this existence is there. That is called Sat. That Sat is existence. And if we have any doubt, we can ask the pot. We can ask the pot. Hey pot, pot exists. Are you aware of that? Do you understand what is being said? Pot exists. Pot said, yeah, I've been listening to these talks and this Jacobarji is sitting here. I'm sitting right here. And so I've been listening for a while now. And so, yeah, I'm beginning to get a handle of it. And I'm Mithya also, he's saying. Pot is Mithya. All along, I thought I'm the center of this world, but he's saying, no, you're Mithya. And then clay is Satyam. Yeah, I now understand that. Clay. And so, what's your date of birth? My date of birth is August 15th, 2021. Last year, I was born. And oh, what about clay? What about clay? When was it born? Oh, that you don't ask. Clay was there long ago. It was there for a long time. Long time it was there. How long? Before me also? Yeah, yeah, even before you. You were there only for 50, 60, 70 years. That's nothing. Clay has been there for millions of years. So clay was there. clay is there. And what about afterwards? After pot, what happens to you? They will burn me, but this clay fellow is so tagada, he will never get burnt also. What? You are enlightened, what? You should start giving lectures. You're pretty good. I'm impressed by you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So that existence, this what understood clay, and that clay itself existence is so, is always been there. What to talk of? That which sustains clay itself, and that existence which is independent of everything else. Clay is independent of pot. Pot is dependent on clay. That existence has to be appreciated. And so, if that is appreciated, then nothing will be taken for granted. Or if I don't take anything for granted, then I will begin to appreciate that Satyam. Okay? And so in Tamil, this Prahlada story is there, where he's asked, where is Vishnu? He said, Vishnu is there in this pillar, and he's there also in this blade of grass or piece of dust is there. So Thuniliyum Iruppan, Turumbiliyum Iruppan. Thunu means pillar. Iruppan. Iruppan means Irupar. So he is in. And in what form is he in the pillar? As existence, he is in the pillar. As existence, Irupaha Irupar. So Iruppu, that Iruppu is existence in Tamil. So Astitvam, as Astitvam, he is in the pillar. And so it's presented as Narasimha coming out of the pillar. We should not take it literally that this Narasimha guy is sitting there trying to come out and all that. That is not the idea. And so that iruppu, that existence, that astitvam, asmi, 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 iti bhavaha. Okay, Dakshinamurti Stotram, when we study, we will see it. Shukracharya highlights that in one of the Shlokas. Yasyaiva spuranam sadatmakamasatkalparthakam bhasate sakshat tattvamasi iti vedavachasa yo bodhayatyashritan. Yasyaiva spuranam. That astitvam alone is appearing in front of me as this world. Spuranam. Nobody, I cannot deny this world. I cannot deny myself. And it's all spuranam. That astitvam, that sat rupa is manifest, as it were. And so from 20 onwards, shloka number 20, yeah, Ahamatma, and then goes on till 39, 38, 39. Yachapi sarva bhutanam bijam tadaham arjuna. Until that point, he's going to go. And Sitrupa and Sadrupa, only shloka number 20. And after that, Adityanam Aham, etc. is going to start Vishnu. And so he's saying, Krishna is saying, you are Gudakesha. He's addressing Ahamatma Gudakesha. Gudaka means tamas. Gudaka means tamas. Tamo guna. And then Gudakanam Ishaha means you are the one who has overcome tamas. Tamas means lethargy, etc. in Vyavaharika. And also it means ignorance. It's something that covers. It's something that blocks me from knowing what is to be known, blocks me from doing what is to be done, okay, blocks me from understanding. That is called tamas. So Gudakana Vishaha, you are the one who has overcome that tamas, and therefore you are a sattva guni, you are a sattva pradana purushaha, you're not an ordinary guy. Therefore, you can meditate on Atma itself. Maybe you can. Okay, so therefore he's starting with this Nirguna Brahma. But then Nirguna Brahma cannot be meditated on except by a jnani, really speaking, not as an object. Because Nirguna Brahma is not an object anyways. How can you meditate on something that is not an object? Okay. So, but still, Krishna is giving him the benefit of doubt. It looks like, and so it's most people will say, oh, it's too abstract. Existence, consciousness, yeah, consciousness. That consciousness, and it is so abstract. Conscious person I can appreciate, but consciousness, suddenly just people say, oh my God, what is that? Yeah, that is the whole study here. And what is consciousness? If somebody asks, you can always say these four things that Swami Paramarthananda ji often says. And what is that? First thing, conscious is not a part or a property or product of this body. Consciousness, that is first one. What is that? Consciousness is not part or not a part, property or product of anything of this body. Number two, consciousness is that which pervades the body and enlivens it, makes it alive. Okay, consciousness is that which pervades the body and makes it alive. Then what? Consciousness is not limited by the boundaries of this body. I think you appreciate all these things. So, consciousness is not limited by the boundaries of this body. And then fourth one and the last one is consciousness survives even after the body perishes. Means consciousness is existence. That is consciousness. And so go ahead and meditate on this. Hey Arjuna, meditate on this. Because you are Gudakesha. You're not an ordinary person. And you have come a long way. You were a karma yogi for a while. And so that formless, tasteless Atma, consciousness, Brahma. Go ahead and meditate on that. Aham Atma Gudakesha. And then where is this Atma? Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha. Okay. Ashaya means mind. Literal meaning. So Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha. It is there in the minds of all living beings. Sarva Bhuta, living beings, all beings. Ashaya, mind. Sthitaha. It's everywhere. It's in all minds of all living beings. Okay. And that aham atma. Aham means what? I'm telling you about my glory. Therefore, aham, Paramatma, is the atma of all living beings. When I say I, and when you say I, it is the same thing. It is the same entity. It is consciousness. It is atma. Aham atma. Hey Gudakesha, aham atma. And I am the witness. Just like you are the witness of this world. That which makes you the witness of the world is Atma, which is me. Aham Atma. Correct? I can mind. Okay, mind. So I'm aware of my thoughts. Yeah, that awareness is consciousness. Thoughts is not consciousness. Awareness of thoughts. That is where I am aware. I close my eyes. Yes, my mind is. There are some thoughts in my mind. Now there are no thoughts in my mind. Awareness is. Thoughts are not there. Awareness is. Thoughts are not there. Therefore, thoughts are mithya. But awareness always is. I am aware of the absence of thoughts. That awareness is consciousness. So, sarva bhutashaya sthitaha. And then, and aham adischa madhyamcha. Bhutanam anta evacha. Adihi madhyam antaha. Aham adihi. Aham. Pot is telling us this. This now, Pot is telling us. What is Pot telling us? Aham Adihi. Oh, what do you mean Adihi? I was there before. But Pot, you just told me your date of birth was August 15th, 2021. What do you mean Aham Adihi? Even I was there before you, okay? No. You don't understand what I'm saying. Mithya Pot was not there before. But Satyam clay, Vrittika eva Satyam, Chandogya Upanishad, you only were teaching me long ago, and now you are telling me you forgot it. Let me remind you. Vrittiketyeva Satyam, He Shvetaketo, like that Father Uddalaka said. Remember? Yeah, I see. Okay. So Aham, clay, Adihi, even before I was born, Pot was born, Adihi, I was there long ago. Okay? Do you understand that now? Oh, okay. Now I understand. Then what? Madhyam cha. Madhyam. Right now, you're talking to me. I'm there now. I exist. Like you exist, I also exist. Okay, then what about later? How long? What is your lifespan? These days for human beings, they're saying average lifespan is 60 something, 60 plus 65 years. What about you? What? Hmm. It depends on you because the way you're holding me, sometimes I wonder my lifespan is going to be very short. But please, I worship you and you are the greatest. You are a guru also. And so I worship you. Please take care of me. Okay. And if that is the case, I will live for a few more years. And then after that, what happens? So, aham adischa, madhyam cha, bhutanam antaha eva. Antaha eva. Later on, after the spot is gone, after you and I are gone, still I will be there. Antaha api. Okay, this is Pot's teaching to us. And so, Adihi, Srishtihi, Srishti Karanam. Adihi means what? Srishti Karanam. I am the cause of this creation. I existed before the creation came into being. Creation did come into being. Every kalpa, it comes. So, that thing is there. We talked about. What did you say? Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu. Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Aharyat Brahmano Viduhu. Something like that. We studied it in a few chapters. 8th chapter, I think. And then he explains a little.
Te horatra vidojana.
Ye horatra vido janaha. And then next sloka he talks about his that all that is also mithya. He's going to say that there, or limited. Limited is going to say that finite. So this creation also, don't think that it's something big. It has been happening for ages. Okay, and so you are there in particular creation in a particular solar system in a particular planet at this time. So be happy about it, but don't say things like this is the only creation, this is the only world, and you're talking about dinosaurs and this and that. Okay, good. But you know what? There have been many such worlds before. And so, aham adischa, madhyamcha, srishti karta aham. And I'm always, every srishti, I'm the karta. I'm the cause. And then madhyamcha, sthiti karta. I'm the one who keeps this creation going. I'm the one that provides the oxygen to this creation. So sthiti karta. And then laya karta. I also take it back. Take it back within myself. Like the spider takes the web into itself. I am that laya karta also. And so aham adischa, madhyamcha, antahacha. Okay. We've seen this several times. Krishna has told us. And so therefore, when I meditate like this, one of the immediate consequences is that my attention now shifts to Ishvara, Paramatma, shifts to that Atma which sustains me, which is me actually. So that I won't no longer say my security comes from this, comes from him, comes from her. This thing will not, that idea will go away. There is a role I am playing, and I have to play that role extremely well, as good as possible as I can. Correct? Therefore, I can provide security to others. If others think like that, that is fine. But for me, security comes from Paramatma. For the pot, security comes from clay, not from the wife of the pot or the husband of the pot. Because for the husband of the pot also, security comes from the same clay. And so, where is the question of somebody else giving me security? It's not possible. That somebody else itself is on oxygen, a tube, oxygen is running. And how can that person give me security? So that's the immediate consequence of this. So I am the Ahamatma, Adischa Madhyam cha, Antaha cha, Srishtikaranam, Stritikaranam, Layakaranam, Bhutanam. Like that, Krishna is telling here. So let's translate this shloka number 20. There is another meaning for Gudakesha. Gudakesha. Master of sleep, one who has overcome sleep. Like that, we've seen that before. And so here Swami translates it like that. Oh, master of sleep, one who is a master of sleep. So that's the Lokika meaning of Gudakesha. Which means he's able to, even in his own life, he must have been not worried about not getting enough sleep and all that. This not getting enough sleep is a big problem for many people. And so, Gudakesha, Arjuna, at least we are happy that there was one person called Arjuna who did not worry about sleep. And so, oh, the master of sleep, I am the self who resides in the hearts. I am the self who resides in the hearts or minds, both are okay. Who resides in the hearts of all beings. And I am the cause of the creation, comma, sustenance and resolution of all beings. And the cause of the creation, sustenance, and resolution of all beings or things. O master of sleep, namely within brackets Arjuna, I am the self who resides in the hearts of all beings, and I am the cause of the creation, sustenance, and resolution of all beings. Let's stop. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
धन्यवादः।